There's an old story of an angel who stands next to a person. And in the angel's hands are two of those old-timey fashioned scales, the kind that you see statues of justice holding before a courtroom. And on one side of the scale, it was the thoughts of the person who go towards heaven. And on the other side of the scale, it was the thoughts of the person that go towards the world. So on one side, it would be thoughts of praising God, or reading their Bible, or asking God to take care of other people. And on the other side, it was thoughts about fashion and TV shows and books, and worries about money and gossip and sinful thoughts. And this person's scale was like there was very little thoughts leaning towards heaven and tons of thoughts leaning towards earth. And then when you look at the person, you see that on their face. They look careworn and weighed down with stress and fear and anxiety. And the angel doesn't say anything, but the message is clear. We need to put more thoughts on the heavenly side of the scale. Like, what if this person started to, instead of think about her fears, to claim the promises of God? What if instead of gossiping, this person started to pray with and for people about the problems in their life? Instead of wasting tons of time on social media or exciting books or movies, what if this person started spending time reading spiritual books and praying and having a Bible study? You see, the scales are on the inside, but what the scales do show up on the face, show up in the attitude, show up under times of pressure. You see, when life gets hard, and it does for all of us, what's on the inside tends to come out. What we have sown in the soil of our hearts comes out, and in the words that we say and the attitude that we have. And this is an amazing story of the scales, because it shows us that we are in control of what we put on the scales. You see, God doesn't say, I want you to act perfectly and don't you ever sin. He says, no, I want you to choose where to put your thoughts, and that is going to change how you act. Think about me. That's why over and over in the Bible, it says, worship the Lord your God. First commandment is to keep God first. The most important commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart and soul and mind. The first angel's message in Revelation says, fear God, give him glory, worship him who made the heavens, the earth, and the sea. And God is constantly saying, worship me, which worship is focused thinking. He says, fill up the heaven side scale with thoughts about me. Not because God is on an ego trip, but because it's what's best for us. It's like telling a fish, swim in the water, or telling a flower to follow the sun across the sky, or telling a bird to fly. He's telling humans to worship. Now, the struggle right now is that it's so easy to worry instead of worship. I mean, watch the news for 5 minutes and you'll find tons to worry about. Talk to basically anyone and say, how's your life going? And they'll give you reasons to worry about. Get on social media and see all the reasons why you need to worry, what those crazy people on the other side of the political spectrum are doing, or what your friends are doing, and their lives seem to be so much better than yours. There's tons to worry about. But our job is to worship, is to focus on God. Now, one of the reasons why I've been doing these videos ever since the quarantine started was because I want myself to focus on God, and I want to encourage you to focus on God. And I want to do a series next with the people who listen to this, answering some of your questions. Many times we have questions that we're afraid to ask out in church because it's embarrassing, or we just don't know who to ask. And so if you have a question that it's been weighing you down, I encourage you to put it on the comments. If you know who I am, you can text me or Facebook me, instant message me. And I'll take the questions that come in and I'll research and pray about them. And then I'll share some answers that I believe work. What we need to do during this time of Earth's history is to weigh the scale down on the side of God. And part of doing that is answering questions, asking questions, sharing prayer requests, doing Bible studies, putting in things that focus us on God. So I encourage you today to spend some time with Jesus, to put some weight on that scale, because it will show up in your heart and in your face when the pressure comes. Jesus is coming back very soon. And every thought that we place on his side of the scale makes him happy and makes us have a lighter life. Remember, no matter what's happening, God's got this and he loves you very much. God bless.